But yeah, do check out Sneak, !Sneak in the chat. I was absolutely terrible at selling it there. That's what happens when people try and talk to me while I'm trying to do my sellout. God damn it, guys. Okay, all good though, but do check out !Sneak in the chat. I'm going to type it for you guys. There's a link there. Go check out the site. It's cool. I like it. Anyways, the bottom left-hand side, this is our red Zerg player. Paused. It's not because we have a pause. Aye. Is Sneak the stuff that Luke Skywalker drinks in the new Star Wars movie? No, it isn't. But I heard it's the stuff that absolutely legendary StarCraft players drink, such as Wardy. Some even say that when you drink Sneak, you actually become about half as good as me. I mean, honestly, if I was not me right now and I could become half as good as me, I would snap that up in like a second. So, honestly, I would go for it. I would get some Sneak and I'd drink it. Alright, guys, we're going to be jumping in. And we're going to resume this. Let's go to the bottom left-hand side. As I'm just going to wait for the text to fade. Aye. These early game pauses, eh? To the bottom left-hand side, this is our red Zerg player. Give it up if you're cheering on Bly. Opening with a gas pool, but not kind of like 13-12 or anything. You know, it's a couple of drones later on than that, so it's going to be gas pool hatch. The question will be, just what does he do with the early gas? To the top right-hand side, his opponent here, the blue Terran player, souL. And well, we have had, so far today, all of our players lose 0-2 to creators. So going into our final 3 players, this is a bit of just a kind of a round robin between themselves now. They're all 0-1, and so the question becomes who can win 2 of their matches and who will not win 2 of their matches, of course. So it's very possible we do change the order of the final 2 series. By the way, we're currently set up to stream Bly versus DNS after this, then souL versus DNS. But for example, if souL loses this series, it's much more likely that we do souL versus DNS first, because then Bly and DNS is more likely to be a more useful series with more on the line. You know, it just removes the chance of it being useless or pointless per se, which sometimes, of course, does happen in the round robin scenarios. So it's just nice if we can do that and to, you know, get that kind of going. As you are going to be seeing, this SCV is going to be pulling on away up towards the top right-hand side of the map now instead. So SCV off and away to the upper right, and we are just going to be having the Reaper coming on as well. So souL going to be pulling all the way back towards the upper side. Meanwhile, we do see the command center, the factory, all this just coming up. Early links because it was pulled first, and we are going to be having the Reaper, hence, you know, needed to help defend us over here. One SCV going down, the scouting SCV so far. Nice grenade is going to hit all of those Zerglings. Actually, this SCV might be able to loop back around, but 2 more Lings arrive. Link speed coming up, so Bly's actually going to keep on making Lings. And as Link speed comes through, it means he's very likely going to be able to continue or to continually deny the building on this command center here. So we are going to see this SCV still under a little bit of fire. Lings back and forth. He needs to stop this CC from finishing as Link speed coming up. The whole point is that you're going to be able to control the low ground. Oh my god, the SCV RNG is a little bit amazing right now in the favor of the Terran play. He needs to stop the next SCV from even getting on that command center for just a split second even. It's still denied. I think you just pull SCVs at this point because it is so close to finish, and you do not want to cancel this. Next SCV that comes up is going to get blocked on the ramp. I think it's going to be fine. There's no way you get a cancel here as Bly. He starts to make some more drones. He's now just going to go for SCV kills in general, it feels like. So trying to maximize what he can get done with this opener, which has been a big commitment to Zerglings so far. As we are going to be seeing the few Marines, the Reaper and the Hellion pulling away to the right-hand side. Factory getting ready to drop on towards the reactor here in the next few moments. Generally, obviously, further Hellion production comes in at this sort of stage, as souL might be forced to lift up into the might be forced to lift up here and just go back away for a little bit. Guys, stop fighting in the chat. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but just stop fighting! Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna straight up, like, you guys, like, you guys are both on the stream regularly. Like, you guys should know you can't talk like that. Just chill out, guys. I don't want to time people out, though. Come on. Hellions coming in. They are going to get a little bit of damage done. And you see the Lings going down. I'm just going to be seeing another couple of Hellions on the way through here. As we are just going to be having this. Third orbital is up from souL, so he's actually gone into a very fast free CC, which generally puts him in a very good economic position. I love that he actually flies the third base down to the low ground, while this other base will just be left to kind of be healed up for a while. You know, don't spend the minerals repairing it too soon. It's a nice little idea. As we are going to be seeing the natural just going to be dropping down, and SCV production should continue, but I kind of feel like Bly did enough here to kind of justify his position, to justify the initial commitment. You know, it really feels as though he's put himself in a good little spot overall. As we do see the hatches about halfway done the third base. Obviously a later third hatch is a little bit of a pain, but he's up 14 workers, so despite the triple CC, 14 workers, it's a little bit ahead of where you'd want to be, right? It's a little bit ahead of where you would want to be. What I do want to mention from chat, though, as this game cleans up a little bit, is that Kugelsteiger came in. Kugelsteiger, sorry. Came in with the Cheer 300. What are these party bits? I love them. The party GMOs, they look pretty fun. They look pretty funky, I have to say. They're like, I've seen the grey ones, now I've seen the purple ones. The purple ones look awesome. Maybe someday we'll see some of the further ones as well. But thank you so much. Just wanted to say thank you for the Cheer 300 Kugelsteiger. Saying, take my bits, Wardy, and thank you for the content. Thank you so much for the support. Some love in the chat for a great person showing some support to the stream. As we do see, meanwhile, though, Hellions are in action on the other side of the map. Getting some damage done. Roaches starting to pop out from Bly. How many roaches is this? 12, and Ling's reinforcing. So Bly's going to go all in. So he's going to get across the map, and he's going to just try and end this right now, feeling as though maybe he's done enough damage early, plus the fact his triple CC from souL means that, you know, the extra production does take a little while to come up. So I don't know if he really knows about this. He has a siege tank but no bunkers. You obviously the initial wall-off's nice, but if you can get the Ravagers up this ramp and cross a bar down the siege tank, you will break through. How much will he lose breaking through, though? That's always going to be the question. The third Ravager coming in right now. And here we go. He doesn't want to go just yet. He needs this extra Ravager. It's so crucial to the attack. Here we go. One Roach leading the charge to minimize the damage. You can see that souL sieges the tank. He pulls it back, but it's a bit too late. Marines are continuing to kite backwards as well here as these SCVs are being pulled away from the natural, and Bly continue to push forwards. He actually uses Corrosive Battles on the ramp, which kills a lot of SCVs, but it means he won't get the siege tank on the high ground. These units are going to continue to push Bly away at the moment. We're going to see another couple of SCVs going down, and we are going to be seeing 20 workers killed here so far. And it's good damage done. The Hellions will run by and they'll get themselves a very low number of workers in comparison to help make up for some of this damage dealt. 55 to 28 workers coming out of this, but Bly lost his entire army, so he really has to look away from workers now and focus on rebuilding an army here to be able to survive a counterattack which is going to be powered by +1 and Stimpak. Not just +1 attack and +1 armor. Marine's going to be dropping onto this other side. I mean, an overlord going down already. It's the start of the damage which could be done here by souL. As he gets more Marines up, more, you know, another tank or two, the Medivacs as well. He can trade very well against this army. Well, waiting to see what will happen. A few Marines loading up into these Medivacs, and looking to see just what might happen. Gonna come on over to the left-hand side. A couple of creep tumors kind of out the front here could be in some trouble, and you know, going to be seeing the combat shields coming up as well. Let's continue to boost forwards, and we are going to see a tank and a few Marines starting to drop down here. Tank siege is up, a scan comes down, so the creep team is cleaned up pretty quickly. Not really much issue at all. It's now stimming up in towards the top side. We'll see some of those drones pushed away. The tank's kind of left alone, but the 1-1 Marines kind of on their own here will just get rid of so many drones. The tank isn't even being dealt with because Bly is so eager to come in and to deal with this attack right now. Roaches and Queens and Ravagers continue to come forward, and we will see those couple of Medivacs pushed away off to the side. souL lifts up, has to dodge those biles, but honestly, good damage done. 20 workers in return for the workers he lost. And this is the power of the 1-1 upgrades, of just surviving with enough SCVs to recover, to rebuild on triple orbital. This is the power of these. This is the power of these kind of Terran units. Honestly, I mean, this is such a typical way for like a Zerg all-in to go, where you do a lot of damage, but you don't quite kill the Terran. And it's terrifying because you give up so much to do your attack, and in the meantime, Terran had triple base, you know, triple orbital. Terran had upgrades. And the Zerg had none of this. And the Terran units are just so good at trading in those sort of, you know, in those sort of scenarios. Crazy stuff, as we are going to be seeing these tanks, Marines continue to gather together towards the third base. And we are going to be seeing a couple of Zerglings from Bly moving forward. So, a couple of Zerglings moving around, seeing what they want to get up to here. And we do see these Infestors coming up as well. A few more Roaches. Also, the Hive Tech is just about halfway done at the moment. So Hive about halfway done. The Zergling at the front gets taken down by just a handful of Marines. The Hive is really what we're looking at here as a way for Bly to come back in this game, right? I mean, to really now have another stage of this game, which is going to be very powerful for him. Nice Roach counterattack, buys some time for the Hive to finish. So what does he do when Hive comes up? Straight into Ultras? You have to imagine that would be his plan. Broodlords are even harder to get to. You know, you have to build a Spire, then a Greater Spire, and then you have to build Corruptors into Broods. It takes forever. Whereas, again, you know, with Ultras, you pop the Ultra Cavern down. Yes, you generally want to wait for Chitinous playing, but once that's up, your Ultras are already on the field and they're already set to fight. So, this is good. Bly buying some time, but that said, souL wasn't too eager to fight just yet because his 2-2 is only just now finishing. So, he's looking to attack with this 2-2 upgrade advantage. And Hive is still, you know, just finished, but it's, you know, so while it's not necessarily like a pre-Hive time, it still kind of is because he's hitting before the Hive units come onto the field, and that's what a pre-Hive time is really meant to do here. So Ultra Cavern coming down. Oh, first Fungal Growth is pretty good on one of these Infestors, but there's enough Medivacs here to heal those units back up, and the tank count's pretty good as well to keep Bly warded away from the rest of this engagement, kind of coming through or anything along those lines. Just going to be seeing that Watchtower taken there just for the moment. Just so very quickly. And we do have the +2 Carapace just over halfway done right now from Bly. The +2 melee will start as well Zerglings pushing forwards, coming towards the front at the moment. We are going to see some more Lings running in towards this third base as well. A few Marines in the bunker going to get rid of a few more of those Zerglings here, and you know, just going to be having the I think it's only going to get a couple of workers. Meanwhile, drops on the south side, 4-phase supply under some heavy fire. And this is going to really be painful as you're going to be seeing the Medivacs lifting up a lot of those Marines low as they get out of there. They're just going to reinforce with the rest of the army. So, souL going to keep on pushing. Ultras are on the way, but now souL's getting a Ghost Academy. Now souL's getting into this stage of the game where he's going to have an answer to Ultras himself. And again, I mean, until the Ultras come out and have Chitinous, I mean, even when they have come out, without Chitinous, these Marines are going to absolutely shred them. So, realistically, this 4th base will go down. There's not much of a way to stop this here. Because Ultras pop, but I think souL will realize the damage that goes out on the Ultras that Chitinous isn't in play just yet. So, building the 4th base is good for him. Denies a lot of what Bly could maybe have been looking for here. As we are going to be seeing the scan again, and we are just going to be having this couple of Ultras just going to have to back away as the 2 Medivacs just going to load up and drop in towards the main base. Tanks and Marines will unsiege, and they're going to pull up towards the upper right-hand side. An Ultra in the main ready to just kind of chomp away to those couple of units if they do start to unload here. 2 more Liberators on the way out. 2 more barracks are being built. So this Ultra is coming through and will pick off a Marine. I'll continue to come up to the top side as you see. Well, souL's getting back in position to deal with this. Again, doesn't really have many libs or anything just yet, but the tank count should be good against this lower number of Ultras. And you see in the, well, you can just sort of see it, right? The bunker kind of holds on, the SimCity's good, and the Ultras are very clunky against that. A drone goes down as this hatchery will not be allowed to come up. Meanwhile, this hatchery too, under some fire, and well, now applies supply blocked as well. The Ultraless Cavern is here. Well, there's actually an Ultra out to defend this, but if he just gets behind the minerals, the Ultra will not be able to fit on through. And that becomes a massive issue, so at the very least he's going to deny mining. And again, he got this base up here. He's going to lose this army, okay, but I mean, again, this one Ultra is just not going to be able to do much at all. He will be able to sneak his way through. There's a lift, there's a leave, and souL just sits 69 to 52 workers in an amazing position, as you do see. Those Corrosive Bars is not quite landing just yet. It's about to get even worse for Bly, actually, because while he does have Chitinous playing, he doesn't have the final Carapace upgrade. So as the final attack upgrade of the Terran player finishes, he will actually still have the power to just kind of clunk through those units. And again, not as much as it was before Chitinous finished, but it will still be a bit of an advantage. So it's not like the bio units are going to do absolutely nothing here. As we are going to be having Bly over to the right-hand side, just going to try and push up in towards this planetary fortress potentially. But now the ghost numbers are starting to get up, only a few of them at the moment, admittedly. But with the tank support as well, I mean, it's just going to start becoming so difficult to push into these sort of positions. As we are going to see Liberator sieging up, tanks pushing through the center as well. This entire army of souL coming into the middle to see what will happen. 4 more ghosts coming through here to the top left. Another drops trying to get rid of a base. So these mineral patches where ultras just can't fit behind, so they're just going to sit here for moral support. Meanwhile, souL just pushes through the center. He knows where that Zerg army is, so he really isn't afraid. He knows exactly what he's walking into. He's had vision of it with his drop. And he starts to split up. He's finding the ultras up to the top side. Frontal Grove doesn't land on any of the ghosts. The initial snipes are going to be huge here, as they do get rid of a couple of ultras, but Bly's going to start breaking through this a little bit. The last few siege tanks are going to start dropping down. A few ghosts left over, and they are going to get the snipes to finish off these ultras. The ultras will all go down. But so does pretty much everything from the turret. Even the last couple of ghosts are really barely left standing. So it was a little bit late to kind of cast the final snipe, and that ultra sticking around for a little bit longer than it maybe should have done. Was really taking advantage of there. One more snipe, and of course the barrels will land on a medevac with no kill. And get an overseer as well. Wow, these last 2 ghosts. Meanwhile, Roaches come up and a 5th base off the Terran player may very well just have to lift up for a couple of moments, move away to a different location. Another drop from souL. Relentless to this top side of the map at the moment, as we see this ultra running in once again from Bly. Trying to see what else can happen. A few drones going to back away from this base, realize he just cannot mine here realistically for a long period of time at all. So just going to be pulling the drones away for the moment. And again, as that ultra count comes back online, the ghosts this time are already here waiting, building up energy, getting the snipes ready. And we all know how well those snipes are going to go against those ultras. We are going to be seeing. Well, this is moving around the left side. For now, souL kind of content with that. Going to move back towards the center. Doesn't really have any Liberators on production. I kind of find it surprising because there isn't Corruptors on the map. Instead, he does focus on siege tanks yet again. So it'll be a similar kind of scenario to the last time in terms of the compositions of the players. The numbers will be a bit different, but it's still going to be kind of ghost tank bio versus kind of the Ultra Ravager Infestor. I think missing out on Liberators is just a... I mean, what do you gain by not having Liberators, right? Ghost here, not in range to kind of start sniping. There's the snipes, and well, one Ultra goes down. The other 2 Ultras that were targeted, they go low, but not quite the final snipe on them to actually get the kill. Forwards again, now the snipes come down en masse, and well, like a lot of Ultras just disappearing here. It's a nice Fungal Grove to stop some of these ghosts from getting some further snipes off, but there's not enough. There needs to be more. Every single Ultra goes down. Too many ghosts here for the army that Bly has. Bly's just taken so much damage throughout the game. Slash was behind from the get-go with his all-in, that he's just not been able to set up a proper composition against the ghosts. Because of that, he's just been trailing here. And now we do see pushing forward. souL is continuing to snipe down infestors. Every single infestor going down. Pew, 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 pew. Into GG most likely in the next few moments. You can see this Ultra Cavern taking a few more shots as well. Some Lings running in, going to get taken down too. And this is really going to be about it. Bly has lost 8,000 resources more in this game than souL. I mean, that's just really the beginning of the story. I guess it's a good summary, a good conclusion of the tale, isn't it? We're going to be seeing the Ultra's Cavern going down as well, and just continue to push on in. souL going to be taking the first game of this best of 3 on the stream. Do you appreciate it as we get into game number 2 of this best of 3? Down a game to the top right hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Expert is Bly. And going up against the blue Terran player, who is up a game, of course, after defending the initial Roachling all-in. This is, of course, souL. Okay, so game number 2. Bly against souL. As we get set up and ready to go into this second game of the series. A hatchery dropping down on the natural expansion. We are going to be seeing the gas pool. Well, it's actually hatch pool gas, right? Or pool hatch gas from Bly. So you will start 6 circlings. It's been a little while to figure out the order of the buildings here, but it is pool hatch gas, guys. So pool first into the hatchery, gas after the hatch. It's just the 6 lings to try and slow things down on the other side initially. It's not the fast gas, so there's not going to be fast ling speed like there was in the last game, for example. There's going to be less of a chance of a big roach follow-up. And the 6 lings really just looking to see what they can do. Especially if souL decides to kind of, you know, come across the map with the Reaper and he misses the lings. I think the sixlings can actually do a lot. They put out a lot of damage very quickly onto a command center, so we'll see how this works. We do see the sixlings going through the center. How many more times can I say sixlings before the end of this game? I don't know. Ripper will turn back around and will start to be... Oh my god! Start to be fully surrounded. I mean, that's a game ender, like straight up. I mean, game ender question mark. I guess he's got a Marine with SCVs he could fight as well, but it definitely wouldn't be pretty. Oh my god, this Reaper is playing with death. Quite literally. And that's just a shame, because it's just so much longer until he can now actually save this CC. Slash, he does just have to pull SCVs, so still going to pull them down the low ground. And he's going to start building again. The Marine will push them away, but look at all of this lost mining time. Bly is going to be an absolutely dream scenario here. As the SCVs, the Marine just going to continue to push those things around, and eventually 2 more Marines and a Hellion arrive, and that's really going to shut this down. But god, until then, this is being very, very painful. Nice pull away of this SCV and then get another SCV going at the same time. SCV pops out the other side. Is just going to stay alive again. I think he's going to go for the Marine. Gets an SCV now instead, maybe 2. Bly is... Oh, nice load micro from souL. Bly's really just done so much with this here. I was going to say, that was really nice load micro, because not only did he load the SCV on this side, but he deposited on this side instantly so he could start the orbital, not delaying things more than he needs to. So nicely done there. They're on the way very quickly from Bly, and I kind of wonder, from this sort of scenario, do you just go into a Rotron and a Nidus network or something, because you have slowed the Terran play down so much in these early stages. You have stopped him from really kind of doing, you know, just kind of following through with his own build. You've really put him into a bit of a awkward spot here, so a little bit of a weird one. We're going to be seeing a few Hellions of souL pushing through the center of the map now at the moment. We'll be coming up and arriving in towards the natural in a moment or two, so going on in. We're going to be seeing these couple of Queens targeting the Hellion down. We're going to see 1 drone already roasted, another drone or 2 going down as well. 25 workers killed. These Hellions are not going to see the Nidus though, or are they? Oh, he's not. He's going to be too stuck in this natural. He did see the Rotron building though, so is that enough information from souL here? I mean, what does he want to do? I mean, you're going to see a reactor coming down in the factory. Extra barracks, a starport starting up. He's just not going to have the units. Just straight up and simply, as the Rotron finishes, Bly makes 10 or so roaches. I mean, he doesn't have the minerals quite yet, but he's definitely got the gas. So a bunch of roaches coming up. He pops them in the Nidus as they spawn. Nidus comes up in, well, I guess, just the main base with this Overlord, maybe. The Speedlings already are going to push these Marines back. So already the few units that are on the map from souL are in trouble. Because the roaches come across here super quick. I just don't know if there's a way for souL to defend this. He is in so much trouble right now, and I mean, he just took too much damage early, right? Bly recognized this, followed through, and I mean, 2 Cyclones on the way up, but I'd be surprised if the factory even lasts that long. Gets rid of a couple SCVs, building barracks right away, and I mean, imagine the factory has to be one of the main targets. I guess Stim as well is a decent target right away, just in case there is a lot of bio coming up. It goes down very quickly as well, right? As we are just going to be seeing souL. I mean, again, he did everything to kind of just build up his economy here, for command center and all the rest of it. As Bly will target down this factory, okay, even if the Cyclones pop, so what? SCVs will pull in and try and help out here, so SCV is going to go at it, going to try and see what they can do. Cancels one of the racks, get a bit of a better position. The first Cyclone goes down. The second Cyclone off to the south side is doing a little... Alright guys, let's kick off in a final game of this TVZ. Remember, after this, we are currently scheduled to do DNS versus Bly, then DNS versus souL, but if Bly wins, it's very possible we do DNS versus souL first, followed by Bly versus DNS instead. No guarantee on what order we're going to do those in just yet, just because it can change so much depending on exactly what happens, etc. And it just makes more sense to do them in one way or the other, because very simply it can create a better viewing experience, and it means that certain games aren't made redundant already, basically. So, well, to the top right hand side. Sorry, top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player opens pool first again. This, of course, is Team Experts Bly. Going up against the red Terran player to the bottom right-hand side of the map from OSC Elite. This is souL. Game 3 of the series, and setting up to see just what's going to be happening as we continue onward. Again, if you didn't hear, tomorrow we will have games, sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday. I'm getting real mixed up. Thursday we're going to be coming at you guys with our next set of matches, which is going to be Stefano, the Muslim, Petit Drogo, and Denver. I can already reveal... I actually shouldn't probably reveal the rest of the groups just yet, or because they're not fully completed. I'm waiting to hear back from Clem in terms of confirmation on what days he can play, although it's only between Group C and D now. And I'm also hoping to hear back from one more Protoss player, I believe, to confirm their participation. But we also already have confirmed Harston, Euthermal, Optimus, Nurtio, and so on. So just trying to confirm another couple of players here and there, and get full confirmation of what is going to be the case, or what's going to be the scenario here. Moving onwards. Sorry, very bad observing by me. I should have probably been following these 6 links coming across the map, especially as the Reaper finds them. You're going to be seeing the Reaper starting to kite. So this is a much better scenario from souL right from the get-go. Glide will split his lings up to try and get a few towards the base and try and slow it down as much as possible. But for the most part, pushing forwards, we are going to be seeing this Reaper is able to, well, just shut these lings down fast enough. And with Marine helping out as well, the SCV doesn't even have to pull away from the command center. And this was a much better start from souL, sorry, than what he's had in the previous 2 games, honestly. The last 2 games, he's been very hectic at the start, defending against the lings and things going wrong, Reapers going down, or lings hitting speed and continue to push forwards. In this scenario, this really is just clean, simple. souL deals with the lings. Bly just going in towards his ling speed and seeing where we go from here. Starport coming up in the main base, and we are going to be having another couple of Hellions just coming on out right now. Tech Lab comes down as well in the barracks. Obviously, maybe souL. The potential to change things up here, go for a bit of a Cloak Banshee. We haven't seen that yet this series. And if he does change things up, goes into, for example, a Cloak Banshee and so on, it just gives him some opportunities, some ideas of what he can maybe do from here on out. And what he can, what more he can start to get done, basically. Supply depot drops down there, and we are going to see those couple of Hellions are still just nearby. He's being kept at home to deal with any potential ling run buys. Fairly quick lair once again from Bly. He starts to take his extra gases, but this time he takes 4 extra gas, or 3 extra gas, up to 4 in total, without the hatchery being taken. And as he takes the back base, I really sort of begin to feel like this is going to be probably a Mutalisk play, right? Aspire. Back base is in a safer location, so you can kind of hold on to it and, defend more easily with only the Mutas up. Lings on the way, though, as these Hellions dive on by. I mean, there's already a couple of drones that are going to be going down here, so this initial run by. 6 workers, how many more? Just 7 for the moment. I mean, first few Zerglings are getting roasted as well, though, so there's definitely more potential damage. Good hold position on the Queen on the ramp. Reaper Grenade goes down to blast it away, but now the Hellions have already had to pull back. And that is going to be 8 workers killed. With the Hellions stuck in the back, they shouldn't be able to do much more with the Queens nearby, and the Lings as well, so good defense in the end from Bly, but had to scramble a little bit, lost 8 workers in the process, and souL saw the fact that there was no hatchery here. Again, the fact this was 4 gases I really thought was going to be a Spire, but instead it's a Rotron and a Nidus network. But that said, he isn't mining gas on the natural, so he definitely didn't need all of this gas if he was just going to go Nidus. That's 7 workers killed here right now from the Liberator. So again, more damage being done. Siege tank already out back at home for souL as well. Still has to stay very mobile with that. Obviously, with a Nidus network coming up, the possibility of a the tank going down if it's siege just a little bit too high. So you have to be a little bit careful. There's the Nidus. souL will probably reposition his tank just a little bit. He's going to engineer and bay up here on each side, which actually walls these units of the Nidus network in. So if the tank just sieges up a bit further away, it's going to be so much safer. Viking will drop as well. I actually don't know what these units can do. I mean, the Queens start to come out, but they're going to take so much damage. I mean, again, it's just not going to work. And Bly recognizes it. I imagine maybe a Nidus into the main. I mean, what's his plan here? Is it really just to keep on building, Nidus? Is it really just keep on, trying to drone up and to kind of go from here? No, it is a Nidus in the main. He is building drones, though, so he's going to continue to pressure while going into this. This is really sick, by the way. The double engineering bay to block. And considering he's playing bio, the double engineering bay can become useful as well. Nidus goes down so quickly. The SCVs that are pulled in are kind of unnecessary. The Queen and the Roach are going to be taken down with pretty much immediate ease. So nicely done here by souL as he defends against Bly's attack. And obviously Bly will play against DNS next to potentially stay alive in this group. There is the possibility if Bly beats DNS and then DNS beats souL, there is a possibility of a three-way tie. A three-way tie which Bly may do, may be able to do better in by having taken a map here. And then map scores can start to come into play, etc. If we do get to tiebreakers, best of ones will be the determining factor. And they will probably just be played out, unless the players can continue playing tonight, they'll probably just be played out pre-playoffs on playoff day, which is a week tomorrow. Roach speed coming up right now from Bly. Going to be seeing the evolution chamber on the natural. Bly tries to go up towards the 4th base at the moment, so I mean he tries to get his way out of this, but I mean, dare I say it, but look at the supply. 66 over 66. Bly is not only supply blocked, but he's down by 32. He is not in a pretty position, and souL will very much so know this right now. 1-1 upgrades coming in, a couple of tanks ready, Marines, the medevacs on the map. He can push across here and really apply some pressure. There's so few scenarios in which this goes badly for souL here, with how much damage is already being dealt. You see another Liberator actually sieging up. Cute Nidus play to kind of maximize what he can get done here. Micros the queens with the Nidus, keep them alive, and then transfuses last second to save that final queen. I mean, that's cute, but it's probably still not going to be enough, as we are going to be seeing the Marines and tanks coming up the left to push on in, take down the 4th hatchery immediately. I mean, that's obviously going to be something. So 4th hatchery is going to go down. That's a cancel no matter what. I think anything that happens here from Bly is not really going to be successful. He's wolfing in some Ravages. He's getting ready to take a fight, but he's going to be fighting against 1-1 in a few moments. Tanks went sieged if there ever was a time to start pushing, it was that. That's nice. He actually picked off a few Marines and then just sort of backed away. Frozen Bow's going to hit both siege tanks, so that is nice. Bly gets himself 2 siege tank kills. Marines still on the map, but not quite as powerful without the support of the tanks. So maybe souL has to back away, but he's backing away into a gold base built in location. He isn't afraid. He isn't scared at all. He knows how comfortable of a position he's in right now. Corrosive Biles very nearly get a medevac or two, and little things like this are maybe the biggest fear at the moment for souL is the scans. He'll get rid of a good amount of creep tumors here as well, just denying some of the map vision of Bly as well. Let's creep back just a little bit, although still an active tumor over here. May have been a bit of a better target. And the great thing about this army right now of souL is that as soon as he's in trouble, he just lifts up. Everything can fit into these medevacs, so there's no need for him to commit if he doesn't want to a fight unless something like Mutas suddenly show up. Comes in, gets rid of a couple of queens, continues to push forwards. Now he will lift up. Obviously lost a few Marines in the process, but for the most part, it looks pretty good for him as the see those medevacs are going to boost on away back down towards the bottom right-hand side. Gold base will be finishing very shortly, and we do see some burrowed roaches coming around the right-hand side as well. Just going to be coming through and just going to be trying to see what they can get done. Burrowed roaches here in the center of the map as well, but there's not really enough for them to make a difference. A couple of scans. Doesn't actually quite find the burrowed roaches, funnily enough. But they burrowed roaches, they do pop up. Now they burrow once more. I guess souL doesn't have scan energy now because he actually just used double scan to clean out some creep thread. It's a little bit of a weird scenario as we are going to be seeing that one Marine leading the charge in. Well, there's the burrowed roaches now seen because of the missile turret, and as they run up this ramp, I mean, the bio's already here waiting for him. He will get rid of a siege tank, which is nice. Will he? Okay, yes, just. Really, only just. Meanwhile, though, he loses a 4th base. So, again, the idea of the counterattack from Bly is very nice, but is it really going to be overall a success? I can't really say that I think so. Let me see if he's just going to burrow a scan again. Another fungal growth. Oh, my God. We just need to be a little bit careful, and just going to be seeing the drones. The TV picks away. Yeah, there's a lot more drones continue to drop down here as he continues to stem forwards and pick off Ravagers. The Marines are down in the red health, so they're super low. Super vulnerable. More units of souL going to come across towards the upper left side and continue to just reinforce this. Bly is moments away from well and truly just being completely broken here. And as he drops in this series, he now has to win against DNS to keep any hopes of surviving this group alive. But even then, it kind of comes down to the DNS souL score as well. So Bly has to still do his part by winning his series against DNS, but then he still has to kind of cross his fingers and hope in the final series of the day 2 that souL doesn't beat DNS, because in that case, he would be 100% out of it. So, As roaches still come through, trying to clean on up. Reinforcements still just stream across the map as well from souL. So continue to come across towards the upper side. Another stem. He's actually going to see these roaches right, so he's just going to scan right on top of them. And he has 2 upgrades as well, by the way, against what, like +1 carapace? It's not even close. He pops up and kills a siege tank. Not worth it for the multiple roaches which have gone down here. Not worth it at all, as you're going to be seeing. Well, souL just gathers up, gets ready to maybe push up into the high ground. He's only got 1 tank, so the infestors might be a little bit scary. Can't really engage from a distance. Pushing forward, going to see a couple of these rocks going to get cleaned out. Just allows souL to reinforce a bit more easily. And again, for souL, time is definitely his friend. He's on a gold-based 5th. He's on a 6th-based build and a 7th-based build in bottom left corner. souL has absolutely no fear at all when it comes to spending time kind of cleaning up rocks and just rotating around. He sees the lair in the main base as well, so he knows there's no sort of hive-based timing that he has to be a little bit kind of afraid of or anything. And souL is even setting up an aggressive command center on the edge of the group here as he sims on in towards his 4th base. So, yet again, I mean, first the Bowels and the Fungus are pretty good. They're well placed. Spellcasting is good here from Bly, but the reality is he just doesn't have the numbers, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how good the fungal growths are. Eventually, you're just not going to have, if you don't have any units behind it, the fungal growths are not going to do enough on their own. Queen's going towards the fight here, and they trade transfusions out. The infestors out of energy, so it's kind of basically just pure Roach Ravager. And, he does a decent job of turning it away momentarily, but meanwhile, there's drops going on, picking off more and more drones. Ravagers have to go and respond to that. Again, the sensor towers and this command center coming through as well. Just going to see any attempt of Bly to get on the map. The only way Bly can get on the map is through this kind of top side, maybe. And if to kind of drop out of the main to dodge the sensor tower. But how on earth do you justify doing that? Justify the building of dropper lords? It just doesn't happen. Like, there's just no way. There's just no way. 2 more ghosts on the way out, by the way. And as these roaches come forward, see from Bly, he will pop up and maybe get ready to fight against a couple of those SCVs. Just coming through, getting rid of a sensor tower, the planetary fortress here, and Bly's gonna see, he's gonna be like, really, dude? Get out of here. I'll at least stop himself from being planetary fortress pushed. But I guess again, the question is the number of units here enough? Some ghosts here just gonna snipe down whatever you can find or land the snipes on, which is already pretty deadly, and just gonna pick away a whole bunch of those units. Not really a need for ghosts in this game, but I guess why not build them at this sort of stage? I guess sometimes you can build ghosts and it's too early for the ghosts. It can actually have a bit of a negative effect, but in this scenario, it doesn't matter. souL is far enough ahead, and Bly really is just on his last few breaths here on Neon Violet Square. The Infestors still don't have energy either, right? So while Bly's already half the army supply, even more than that army, half that army supply again, maybe even. You just can't do much apart from like a couple of fungal growths. Some more snipes coming down. I mean, again, it doesn't really matter what drops here. The infested towns will not survive the continued attack in. Bly losing drones, Bly losing the natural. Game is called, and souL will take it. And he will be the first player